Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tina and it's a beautiful day to be creating with you. Today I get to share a fractured layout. Now I've already showed this fractured cards and these are just super trending right now, but I got inspired by one of my crafty friends, Pauline, and she shared a layout and I was like, that's a brilliant idea. So I want to jump on that and kind of share my take on it. Now, what's so great about remixing and getting inspiration from other people is we get to change it up a little bit. We get to do things differently. We get to use different papers. And I am always so inspired by all the creative and inspirational people that are in this crafty community. So it's really amazing here on YouTube. Wow, what an awesome thing we have. All right, so I have a 12 by 12 piece of paprika paper. I'm going to put that off to the side, and I have an 11.5 by 11.5 of white paper here. Now, this could be throwaway paper. We're going to cover this entire paper. So if you have throwaway paper, what I call throwaway paper is a safe acid-free paper, but it's one you're never going to use in your scrapbooks. We all have them, right? All right, so I have that at 11.5 by 11.5. I have some of this Cozy Up collection standing by that I'm going to bring in and incorporate and use some of my leftovers. And I think this is a great de-stash leftover design. So let's go ahead and get started. 5 by 5 piece of, this is the, I'm going to turn this way, add this in. This was part of the scrapbook workshop, so it was an exclusive paper. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to line my points up at 6 and 6 at the top and the bottom, and then 6 and 6 side to side, and that's going to put this in the center of my paper. Now, if you look at it and you know that the fracture design is going to come around, you can see here on the card, I moved it up to make it a little higher. I haven't pushed this down yet. If you line it up this way, it's going to put it in the center, and then by the time I add the pictures that I have, I'll still be able to see that fracture design. I'm going to lose a good bit of it though. So for this one here, I'm just going to move it up. So when you want to move it up, remember, as you adjust it, it's no longer centered. So small adjustments are best. I'm going to keep it in the center as far as across the paper, but I'm going to move it up to 7. All right. And I'm going to say good enough. It's okay if it's not perfect. All right. I have some 3/8 of an inch of paprika paper. I'll put this off to the side for now. All right, in order for this design to really work, you want those stripes to match whatever your base is. That kind of gives it that fully continuation look that goes around. And boy, you should see this with black, with the black and white and just like one extra color. Boy, it pops. I have done these in different sizes. You can see I have a 1/2 inch one that I did, and I like 3/8. 3/8 is where I've ended now. If you want to swap this out and go with like glitter paper and some shimmer trim is 3/8. All right, some of these will be a little longer because I've shifted my design up. But if you're going with 12 inches, you need, or if you're going with it in the center, you kind of need those 12 inches. All right, wherever you start this will be where your lines are going to be. So for example, if I went from here and came across over here, my line's going to be here. If I start here, my line will be here. If I go this way, it changes the line structure. All right, I hope that makes sense. I'm doing this the same way that I did this card right here. So we're going to just start it at the top, making sure that we are even with that piece that's coming out right there, okay? So we want to get a nice corner, and then we want this to come all the way out, and we need to just trim off a little bit. You need an extra bit of overhang because you are going to want that to make sure that it comes all the way across and out to your full 12 by 12 base sheet. All right, we'll do this one. All right. Okay, so now we have this, and this is, mine's going to be here at the top. Let's grab in some of those papers. This is a great way to use up so many of your papers. You need weird cuts going on here. So now you're just going to take your papers, and I can see this is pretty long. So for me, like this paper here, it's not going to make it to the end. But I do want to share a little tip with you. If you're ever in a situation where you're like, but I really want to use this paper, cut it into strips, ink the edges, put them onto your layout, and it will create a beautiful design. You're able to get to those papers, but as long as you ink the edges, it makes it look like it's with purpose. It's something that I kind of enjoy doing. I have these are some mix-ins that I grabbed to throw in with this, and I grabbed this. Now, I wasn't super keen on these pumpkins for what I'm using this for because it's a New England leafer cruise, so I definitely don't want them at the top. But I know this area over here, I'm going to be covering up a good bit of it. So I'm going to add the pumpkins there, knowing that they are fitting for autumn because it's the time of year. And we'll see where I go from there. I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive to this section over here as well, because I know the piece that I'm putting there. Focus on those bigger areas. All right, we're just going to take this piece and just pop it right in here, just like this. There we go. Okay, now I have these two pieces here, and to me, you know, this is kind of what I have. Now, this one here is rosemary, and it's the color of one of my mats. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and I'm going to pop this one right down in here. There we go. All right, now I'm going to flip them over. I need to kind of, you can go all the way around if you want, but we need to go ahead and we need to get, you know, some cutting done. All right, I am going to rough cut it. In other words, I'm not going to do my pretty final cut right now. Don't cut your strips, those paprika 3/8 of an inch strips. So we don't want to cut those. This is just going to make it a little bit easier for me to work with. Okay, and it's going to give me that extra piece of paper that I wanted. I didn't really need to trim this one, but I'm here, so. All right. Now I'm going to flip this back over. And for this side, I actually want to use this paper right here. And I can see my piece is going to fit pretty nicely. All right, so I read a lot on the ship. I read books, and I have to be really careful about my weight with my luggage and all, because I am old school. I like the feel of a book in my hand. I like everything about a book, the way it feels, the way it smells, the text. I like all of it. So I actually have pictures of me reading on the cruise, and I thought this would work. And I'll grab my final paper and just put it in here. Okay, and now that we have now that we have all of that done, I love the balance in this. I think this is going to look really great. We'll bring in our 12 by 12 paprika and add some adhesive to our sheet. Okay, and what we're going to do is we really just want to leave 1/4 of an inch all the way around. So just line that up in the center. You can use your Versamat as well. I'm going to say good enough on this. I'm really trying to be a little more freeing with my expectations and my scrapbooking and relax a little more. It's going to stick because we rubbed and it had adhesive, but we really want to make sure it gets stuck to our paper, and then flip over for our final trim. I love it. I think it looks absolutely fabulous. I think that these are a lot of fun, but they're going to work with your papers. Now, I do want to mention, because of having to twist and turn your papers and not wanting to trace out and do templates, which you can. A template would be, you make the white portion, that white base piece that I did. And if you then cut this piece out, and you keep them all the same, you will have a template. But for me, just putting those big pieces on there and trimming it out is definitely the way to go. All right, let's grab our mats, our photo mats. Okay, something else that I tried that is also interesting is you can do these with different sizes as well. So this here is a 5 by 5. I wanted to show you a 6 by 6. I didn't finish this one, so I'll peel it off and finish it, but you can see when you go with a 6 by 6 how much more of the area is taken up when you switch up to that 6 by 6. So make sure you just do different sizes. Okay, you can tell I really like that paprika. That's actually going to be a companion for this. All right, so I knew that I was going to cover up a bunch of this pumpkins with my 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mat. I also have 2 more photo mats to add to this as well. I'm just tucking those and seeing if I'm going to want 1 or 2. I don't want to cover up, you know, too much of my design. So I want to see exactly how many photos I want to fit in here. I feel like by covering up those lines, I just feel like I'm losing a lot of that fractured background. There we go. So I think I'm going to go with it more closer to this way. Shift that over a little bit so I can see a little bit more of that line. Here you go. I get to cover up some more of those pumpkins, so it's a win-win. This is an embellishment that I made. It is a simple embellishment. I used fancy brackets, and then I used, this is such a good set. Let me show it to you. This is just like one of those you keep forevers. It is simple leaves. And I'll put a link in there. This is on sale the day of this video. It's on super sale. But you can see I just took a whole bunch of my scraps and I got a bunch of these ready. But this was just simply the simple leaves just stamped like this. And then I used some desert rose glitter paper to do the veins of the leaf. So I want to use this. All right, so for me, this is done. Okay, I'll be ready to add my pictures along with maybe, you know, the book that I was reading or how I enjoy that. Okay, so thank you so much for spending some crafty time with me. It is much appreciated. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful in any way, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you leave me a comment, I'll be sure to leave one back for you. These are all things that really do help me out here in the YouTube community, and I just so appreciate the support that you throw my way. I wish you a wonderful day filled with crafty goodness, and I'll see you back for another video real soon. Bye-bye.